Hey, good morning. It's day 25. Wake up and walk. We're actually down here in Gongyenjen, which is sort of like one of the central metro lines here. It's line 2, which is somewhere right about here. It's the blue line connected. It just got off the yellow line, which is line 1. It's a bit of a beehive. Right now is a good time because it's not super busy. So we're gonna find exit C. And here it goes all the way up to exit J, from A to J, so you gotta double check and recheck where you're going. So this is a pretty huge underground complex, lots of shopping opportunities. We're gonna pop back up to Beijing Lu, where we were the other day, and drop out for some coffee and a little bit of have keyboard wheel travel. So I thought you could walk along with me here, and we're gonna pop up to Zhongshan Wulu and see if we can see a few things. Maybe get a little lost, which is always fun to do. If you're here, you can always take a look, and they always have sort of like these 3D maps here of some of the different ideas. So we're going to come out here and see. I went into Comic City the other day, went through there and came out sort of the wrong way into the underground tunnel. So these things are always useful. Just take some time to get used to. The other thing that's pretty awesome now in the metro is they have put up where the bathroom stops are. So that's also good too, because that's helpful if you never need to find a bathroom. I haven't had to go through that just yet, but I'm glad that the map is there. I have traveled in the past in the city coming from the suburbs and been like, yikes, I gotta go somewhere. Okay, I kind of know where I'm coming out now just by recognizing the old awning, which is essentially across the street from my neighborhood. A little bit farther down. So take this little ride up the escalator here. Let's see how well I do. Yeah, definitely the park is on the other side over here, which we've been coming by, and then the where I'm staying is right behind me, not too far, and the new place is even closer. So we're right down here. So we're just gonna head down here. Obviously, the metro stop doesn't get us close. I'm trying to figure out how close I can get to the place I want to go, so I can pop in and pop out. Coming up on the left is where we go to see the movie theater. The movie theater's up on the left. Get those child-kicking D-box live-action seats, which I joke is you pay extra money to have someone kick your chair for about 2 hours. Actually, it's all done automatically, but it takes some getting used to. It's just before lunchtime, so it's fairly mellow. We'll get popping here a little bit later. It definitely ebbs and flows through the day depending on the time of day. Where everybody's going to work, everybody's going to lunch, everybody's coming back from lunch, everybody's leaving work. So I like to sort of swim upstream on that one if I can, if it's possible. There's definitely some of the other areas around here I'd like to take a look at. I know a mad Frenchman's got a sort of a apartment down one of the hutongs here. I'd like to see that one of these days. I'm always sort of like fascinated by some of the older stuff. You know, older by our standards is nothing compared to theirs. So that was debating here. We're gonna go. Okay. Usually the axiom is walk when the locals walk, which is not necessarily always the safest thing, especially if it's in mass. Then obviously it's pretty safe. So I always have to double check. Back to this idea of ancient stuff. One of the adventures I had on a very hot Guangzhou summer was with a Australian expat who used to repair clocks, antique clocks, and resell them. So when he came to China, we were on a mission to locate some antique clocks. And we struggled through the language barrier trying to get to the antique market and all sort of stuff. And there seemed to be some concern over the fact that you know, a lot of these things were destroyed. And he was very sort of adamant about, oh, these people don't take care of anything that are old. I'm thinking, yeah, your concept of old, like 50 or 60 years as an antique, that's perspective. Especially with 5,000 years plus of history and culture, you know, their idea of an antique is something that's pre-millennial. So the other aspect of that, as I said, interesting kind of combination there of this trash garden with weird things that have been discovered. It's kind of like where all old things go to die, including a bronze statue with a funny helmet. It looks like that's just a weird thing. I love being here because it's always surreal. Anyway, I digress. So the concept was that I said to him, I said, well, you know, maybe in Western context, yeah, we preserve like all these like sort of recent antiques, but we throw away the old people. So, I mean, if that's sort of the value system, then I have to kind of wonder or question it a little bit. I mean, what's really important? How many grandparents and aunties and so forth are living out some sort of meager existence in an old folks' home somewhere in the West, whereas here, their family is taking care of them. The children are taking care of them. I mean, is it perfect? Maybe not. But it's just a different value system. And I think that's important to think about this context. It's not right or wrong, it's just different. I think that's helpful. So, the gist of it is we finally found an antique clock, which I lugged around all over the city in the hopes of finding another one. And I knew that at any moment that it could just splinter because it was made out of wood and some other stuff. We finally got to a place where a guy said, oh yeah, there's a lot of antiques. So while he was up front negotiating the price of this other antique clock, I kind of poked around in the back, as I've been known to do, and I looked and I found on the other side of the shop there was basically a small little DIY factory of a couple of guys making antique clocks, basically taking new materials and making them look old. So they were faux antique clocks. They had a different process for making the gears look rusted and making the wood look like it's weathered and so forth. I nearly split myself because we'd been on the hunt for this thing, and then I began to really question the one that I've been carrying all day long for this guy, if it was legitimately an antique clock or another one of these props that he paid too much money for. So that was a bit of an eye-opener for me. Being here is definitely like seeing the wiring under the board when it comes to production and manufacturing, especially with label items, anything that can sort of generate profit or whatever else. The process sort of becomes industrialized or made up to chase the almighty dollar, or RMB, or Australian dollar, whatever it may be. So needless to say, when I found out of the other antique clock that he was buying was a faux or Jada, not real, replica, I encouraged him to buy two of them. So I thought that was pretty funny, and I wanted to share that with you. So not everything is as it appears, in more ways than one, of course. All right, we're down here at Beijing Lu. One of the things that I like here is that they put in these different sort of vehicle blockades. They seem to be automatic. They can go up and down, so they can put vehicles in here at will. The thing I noticed the other day when I was here was some of the police officers were armed, which is something I haven't seen in a long time, including this cat right here, sporting some sort of small gas-operated firearm, which I'm not too familiar with. The caliber looks small based on the clip. It's just strange to see them. I mean, I'm used to it in other countries. For here, that's a new one. So I don't know if that's a security issue. Recently, I've been told that they have stormtrooper aim. I don't want to find out. This is the example of the old city down here under glass. And this is a different period. At least 2,000–3,000 years old. The city used to have a wall around it like all old cities. So it's hard to imagine that this is a big part of it. And now it's a shopping. So that means some more irony. Now notice the difference today coming down to Beijing Lu on a weekday, on a Monday before lunch. I'm walking along the ley lines here, which are marked on the ground. I'm trying to picture it there somewhere. There you go. So, yeah, kind of get around. All right, I think I'm gonna pop in here and take a look at some stuff. I'm gonna go down and get some coffee and do some writing. So that's a little walk for you this morning. Take care. Day 25. I'll see you for day 26. Challenges in the bag. Keep walking. Keep feeling strong. Enjoy the sun. Cheers.